fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers, the LGB podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy lands of South Florida. And today's date is Thursday, April 4, 2019. So let's begin. Oops, sorry about that. Nice little delay there. Yeah, one of those things, my friends. Just kicking back a little bit, chilling. Looks like they're going to have little promo stuff for some bands in this facility at Stash, which is located at 109 Southwest 2nd Avenue in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, adjacent with Revolution Live in America's backyard. Yeah, so I've been working a lot as usual, trying to make excuses. And sometimes, you get those mood swings now and then. I know a lot of my listeners have done it, and it's very intriguing indeed. However, I just got a few things on my mind, focusing achieving my goals little by little. So I am pleased, so don't worry. I like doing this stuff. So let's shout out to some of my colleagues, our new follower out in Italy. Thank you very much for checking in. It's great. I know a lot of stuff is happening over there as well. If you notice too, everyone's like in the country, the United States, everyone's like wigging out about the Mueller investigation and they said no collision. You got people trying to cut their wrists, about civil war. Look, if we have a civil war in this country, a lot of the big cities, a lot of these loudmouths, many of them loudmouths out there, they're going to fight it. They're going to be hanging out in the corner, have everyone else do their dirty work. And especially the big cities would be like graveyards. Okay? Physical conflict. I don't want this happening. We got knowledge, we got technology. We can counter it without being in that bellicose environment. A lot of things are happening about that. So don't fall for the hype and hoopla and the mind control rhetoric. I don't care what faction side you're on. As far as I'm concerned, they're both very dangerous. My gang's better than yours. Grow up. But on the other hand, too, you see a lot of states that are countering federal overreach, which is fantastic, which the mainstream garbage media don't want you to know. Well, I'm going to be ranting enough on that. So, I'm going to be I've just been going through some of my newspaper articles and all that, and subscriptions. I just subscribe to the America Free Press, and hopefully I'll get the digital edition, and I could just share this to everyone I know. I think it's fantastic. One of those newspapers are being attacked. It looks like something probably a law center now is worried because a couple people resigned. Morrisey's got canned. I tell people about that crackery group. They're nothing more than treasonous parasites, as far as I'm concerned. They're just a prime example. Racism, bigotry is their business. I knew about that for a long time, quarter of a century at the least. If you have any people in my demographic, if you haven't figured that one out, with all due respect, you may be a lost cause. However, you can still redeem yourself. It's never too late. Cool. So, enough of that. This one just came out today from the Sun Sentinel.com. The reference to Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel. He was trying to decide we had a decision about him in the Senate if he could take his position. He went to the courts thinking, I'm so special. How dare you try to crucify me and be some fallen angel? Please. Well, it says here, it came out today, and 2:35 to be exact. It's like right now 3:55. Says here, it's called, come on, hate these damn access to time. Governor had the right to dump Sheriff Scott Israel. Judge rules. It's by Rafael Almeida and Anthony Mann. Came out 3:40. Okay, this is updated. Governor Ron DeSantis acted within his authority when he suspended Broward Sheriff Scott Israel and replaced him in January. A judge ruled Thursday. Broward Circuit Judge David Himes' decision did not indicate whether he agreed with the governor, but affirmed that DeSantis was legally justified when he replaced Israel with acting Sheriff Gregory Tony in January. Israel came under criticism after the February 2018 mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. In suspending him, DeSantis said lessons that should have been learned in 2017 shooting at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International never were implemented, leading to a disorganized response in Parkland that cost lives and eroded trust in the Broward Sheriff's Office. Israel wanted Hames to declare that DeSantis has overstepped his authority. With the judge's decision, Israel's most likely hope in returning to office rests with the Republican-led Florida Senate, which can overturn or affirm the Republican governor's decision. Israel said he didn't have an expectation about what the judge would do. I didn't have any preconceived notion one way or the other or another. I've been in court long enough to know that one way or another makes decisions. Respect judge's decisions. We'll see what's next. Reached a little more than an hour after the judge issued his ruling Thursday, Israel said he didn't know what would happen next. Just waiting to speak with my attorney. And once I speak with him, we'll report on what we do next. Stuart Kaplan, one of Israel's attorneys, said the legal team was disappointed. Now we move on and contemplate our next move on behalf of Sheriff Israel. Kaplan said Israel and his attorneys will confer on what happened next, but the issue will almost certainly now move back to the Florida Senate. Proceedings in the Senate have been held in abeyance pending the court's decision. Kaplan said the timetable for the process in Tallahassee isn't clear. Originally, proceedings involving the special master in the Senate were the next to take place next week, but Kaplan said he didn't know if the case at this point could be picked up that quickly. Kaplan said he's concerned because only 4 weeks are left in the annual legislative session. He said it seemed hard to imagine that special master could compete. It works in time for the Senate to consider the issue before it adjourns for the summer, possibly pushing off any Senate vote on Israel until the fall. A second attorney, Ben Cohen, said Israel would appeal the decision. The constitutionality of Sheriff Israel's suspension will be tested in the Florida's appellate courts, Kuna said. Ben Kuna, okay. The governor's overreach of limited suspension suspension authority has never been used to replace a political opponent at the urging of the National Rifle Association. You see that? Drama queens on parade, with all due respect, counsel. DeSantis' lawyer, Nicholas Promos, argues in court Monday that the governor has the authority to remove any elected official from neglect of duty and incompetence, he said. Israel failed to have an appropriate command to staff procedure, and that he displayed a lack of leadership in developing clear instructions and objectives. So it is a continued developing story. See, that's why I'm laughing, because what Counsel Kuna says, and the NRA has to do something about it? No. I disagree. And I'm a guy who's pretty critical of the National Rifle Association as well. But no. Stop scapegoating. Okay? You got a guy in there that uses witch hunting attributes that got him in this predicament, counsel. And I can say that in good faith. I hear his loud mouth, his mouthpiece, various amount of times. And a question I have for the people in Broward County. Do you want a man who's a member of Homeland Security be your sheriff? Conflict of interest indeed. Federal overreach for sure. So, talk about overreach. Look at the guy they representing. Very contradictory for sure. And I say that politely. But one thing I know for sure, Sheriff Israel, once again, has done this to himself. He should have been more of a conversator of the peace. And like everyone out there, no. I did not vote for Governor DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, now he's governor. I never voted for him. I was critical of some of his past actions as congressman. I say that in good faith. However, this case here, he had the merits. He analyzed everything. He's a JAG attorney. So usually attorneys, what they do, they want to collect all the information. So he like to have that knowledge to make sure he did everything legit. So and of course, if you read Executive Order 19-14, which is on my show, Welcome to Blowback, Sheriff Israel, self-explanatory. He uses alleges on these actions. He did not convict him, but based on the information he maintained, made this decision, and many people, whether they voted for him or not, said it was the right thing to do. So no, about the National Rifle Association had nothing to do with suspending Sheriff Israel, period. The one who shafted Scott Israel was himself. Prove me wrong, councils, if you dare. Alright, I'm going to do a couple here from American Free Press, which I just subscribed today. Interesting, they were under attack. And the first one here is in reference to the Golan Heights riches, which is in Syria, and they at the time, and they make a statement that Israel can occupy it. Yes, and the funniest thing, President Trump made an executive order honoring that. Really, where in the Constitution said that's legit? But I will continue on here. This is by Richard Walker. A U.S. plan pushed by U.S. senators to recognize Israel's claim to the Golan Heights hides an effort by rich, powerful neocons and their Israeli backers to seize energy riches from what international law declares is part of Syria. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, toured the Golan Heights on March 11 with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and declared the Golan Heights had rich Jewish history and was part of the state of Israel. Well, huh? I'll continue on here. Had he checked history books and a map of the region, he would have learned that Golan Heights are situated in southeastern Syria, bordering the Sea of Galilee, Israel's main source of drinking water. He would also have discovered that they were illegally seized by Israel in the 1967 war and have been illegally occupied ever since. The Golan Heights is therefore not part of the state of Israel and never was. Netanyahu has directed the building of extensive Jewish settlements of the Golan Heights, but it is not the first time have tried to populate the area. In 1894, efforts to colonize the Golan Heights by Jewish banker Edmund de Rothschild were thwarted by Arabs and Ottoman Empire laws restricting foreigners from settling the area. None of this seemed matter to Graham and Senators Ted Cruz, Republican from Texas, and Glam Boy Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida. That's right, Glam Boy. The trio at the forefront of arguing that Congress should pass legislation giving Israel the Golan irrespective of international law. In tandem with the effort, the U.S. State Department has stopped referring on the area as Israeli-occupied territory and instead calls Israeli-controlled territory. I need to pull down my pants for Benjamin Netanyahu. That makes me more manly. Right, Senators Graham, Cruz, and Marco Rubio, the yippee-yapping yahooey of this matter? Precisely, right? Netanyahu facing criminal prosecution in the upcoming election. We love nothing better than a U.S. declaration that the Golan Heights is now Israel's. What the hell you think you guys are doing? His friends in Washington, including President Donald Trump's son-in-law advisor Jared Kushner and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, CIA guru, appear ready to give him that gift. But there is a sinister motive for a sudden gifting of the Golan Heights to Israel, and has its genesis in plan that took shape years before Trump entered the White House. Of course, it's concerning neocon strategy ongoing now for almost a decade to access oil and gas riches under the Golan Heights. It began with powerful neocons and their friends in Israel deciding that the best way to get full control of the Golan Heights was to call for regime change in Syria so that there would be no Syrian leadership around to continue petitioning the UN on the issue. Despite many UN resolutions telling Israel to give back territory, it has refused to do so, with Washington's backing on the Security Council. In recent years, Netanyahu has done everything possible to take down the Assad regime in Syria, even training and arming the Nazar terrorists. Yeah, I know that, right? He also ordered hundreds of bombings runs against targets in Syria, arguing that he was eliminating Iranian and Hezbollah forces there. His security issue was a ruse. In 2011, a little-known American company called Genie Energy, based in New Jersey, was granted rights to illegally explore 153 square miles of the Golan Heights for oil and gas. It was part of the IDT Corporation until it was registered as a separate entity on the New York Stock Exchange. The membership of Genie Energy's Strategic Advisory Board testified to its neocon lineage. Prominent on the board were Dick Cheney, media mogul Robert Murdoch, former CIA Director James Woosley, senior partner in Genie Energy Jacob Lord Rothschild, the billionaire hedge funder and member of the Washington-based Foundation for the Defense of Democracies Michael Steinhardt, Bill Clinton's Energy Secretary Bill Richardson, and Larry Summers, Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton. Birds of the feather flock together, huh, my friends? The Israeli subsidiary of Genie is now run by former Israeli General Effie Elton. Right? Elton. Okay. A close buddy of Netanyahu who lives in one of the large Jewish settlements on the Golan Heights. Edlin, right? Got that correct? Yeah, Edom, excuse me, is an extreme religious figure who has recommended removing all Israeli Arabs from Israel. Ain't that nice? David Duke, Jim Crow of Israel. Hallelujah, but we must go and praise him as a holy land. That's right. We hate Jim Crow, but when it comes to General Effie Edom, that's exceptional because they're our best friends in the Middle East. Please. By 2013, as the war in Israel raged and the U.S. pushed for regime change with Israel's backing, Netanyahu, Genie Energy knew from surveys at the Golan Heights that it held massive energy reserves. It was confirmed by geologists with Ethic Oil and Gas, Genie Energy's Israeli subsidiary. With Trump in the White House, there has been a renewed push by Genie Energy and its Israeli backers to convince members of the Senate to change policy on the Golan Heights to favor Israel, claiming it is really Jewish territory and therefore is a strategic to the defense of the state of Israel. Missing from the storyline is the massive wealth waiting to be snapped. Ryan Zinke, Trump's former Interior Secretary who was under federal investigation, knew about the energy potential in the Golan Heights when he visited the region in 2017. He met with Edom, who was then a politician run Ethic. Edom said their meeting has been arranged by a friend in Montana, and they never discussed energy issues, a story few believe. It is unlikely the backstory of Genie Energy will dissuade anyone in the Senate or the White House from doing Netanyahu's bidding, especially after Graham declared that the Golan Heights was already part of the state of Israel and had a rich Jewish history. He deliberately ignored the fact that it is legally occupied territory with rich Syrian Arab history. Yes, Senator Graham, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz are pro Greater Israel Project. And just to let you folks know, the first time listeners out there, no, I am not anti-Semitic. I don't hate Jews, nor hate Israel. But when it comes to government, I love to criticize. It doesn't make me anti-Semitic either, so don't even think about that or blow hot air around me. Because it's null and void. I'm just tired of these little con games from all these Orwellian snaps of snowflakes. I deal with them now and then. They're trying to troll for attention on Facebook, but you know what? I laugh at them. And this is why I could have the right to speak my mind towards the Three Stooges or yippee yappy hooey of the Senate when it comes to this matter. One moment. Yeah, so that's how you gotta look at it. And the fact is, too, the United States should never get involved in foreign entanglements. Alright? That's a big problem. And a lot of these clowns or corporate douchebags out there in Washington, D.C. assume things differently. Because you got AIPAC and all those little charlatan or lobbyist groups want us to know we should learn how to wrap our rear ends and make love to our wives. or companions, whatever your choice, wherever floats your boat. It's irrelevant. It should be shredded to oblivion, as far as I'm concerned. And even Donald Trump should keep his mouth shut as well. And I say that out of respect to all you Trump worshippers out there that will lick the floor kiss the floor he walks on. Just another example of the last of his predecessor's disciples. That's a fact. Well, one thing I said, if it's occupied, let the Syrian people and the Israeli people live in peace, for goodness sakes. I know right around that border, they don't want to fight. But we've got these little ragtag politicians who want to do things better for everybody else. That's what I find very disturbing. So you know what? Washington, D.C. should just shoot it down, including Ted Deutsch, the House man from Fort Lauderdale, who's in my district. Hopefully you listen to this, sir. I'd be real flattered. So, no more foreign entanglements. Let's end the empire and not be any nation's sidekick. All right, got one more here. Same thing from American Free Press. Came out yesterday. And it says here, left-wing censorship group slapped by John Friend. Television talk show host Tucker Carlson was one of the most popular cable news commentators of the air today and strong critic of globalism, mass immigration, forced multiculturalism, and other key tenets of prevailing liberal, politically correct social order, has been targeted by radical left-wing groups and activists for months now. It was funny, I don't even listen to the guy. I don't even listen to Tucker Carlson. But if these political snowflakes or willing snowflakes and saps don't like it, then it has to be good. I'll continue on here. As the newspapers have previously reported, radical Antifa activists targeted the outspoken America First populist home in Washington, D.C. area in November of last year. Several members of Smash Racism D.C., a radical left-wing Antifa-affiliated group, posted Carlson's home address and online organizing protests outside his residence to denounce his alleged racism and bigotry. Yeah, how fascistic are you guys? Just to let you folks know, you Antifa folks in those pretentious organizations, can you explain why you would like to support Karl Marx's ideology, which he did a bend over Bob to the banksters? That's right, a bankster's butt boy. I idolize a bankster's bellboy, Karl Marx. Good grief. Some of these folks here are like meek and unmeritable. I wonder how many were hired. Probably on the same payroll, but you had to employ the KKK, right? Ku Klux Klan. All right, I will continue on here. Others have organized boycotts on this program and have attempted to entice advisors on both Fox News and Carlson's flagship nightly news program, Tucker Carlson, to end their business relationship with the network. Media Matters. Yeah, I could blow chunks on that one. Media Matters is a highly partisan and far left-wing organization that regularly targets and attacks conservatives, has been and continues to be one of the primary organizations operating both behind the scenes to publicly sabotage Carlson's nightly news program and tarnish his reputation. The activist organization recently published a highlighted number of controversial statements Carlson made years ago relating to women, minorities, and other topics in a dishonest effort to distort what Carlson actually meant and further tarnish his reputation. Carlson commendably did not back down in the face of such a dishonest and highly partisan smear campaign. Media Matters caught me saying something naughty on the radio show more than a decade ago. Carlson said in response to the Media Matters hit piece, rather than express the usual ritual contrition about this, I'm on television every weeknight. Excuse me, I got the hiccups here. Live for an hour. If you don't know what I think, you can watch. Anyone who disagrees with my views is welcome to come on and explain why. Fair enough. Indeed, in response to the attacks, Carlson has used his platform to launch his own investigation into the dishonest left-wing groups and individuals that have so brazenly attacked him and Fox News in an effort to deplatform them and sabotage their reputations. In recent episodes on his nightly news program, Carlson has aired segments exposing the groups working tirelessly to end his career, including Media Matters, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and CNN, among others. Yeah, the Three Stooges. Yes, I love making fun of these asswipes, you know? How pathetic these people are. Carlson recently revealed that the current president of Media Matters, Angelo Corazon, has a history of making derogatory and disparaging comments. Unsurprisingly, Corazon's controversial statements had garnered his little attention or outrage among Media Matters liberal supporters. On his now-defunct blog, Corazon used a number of slurs to characterize travesties, transvestites, and minorities, including Jews, according to a report from the Daily Caller, which dug up Corazon's old blog using the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. Corazon has referred to the transvestites as trannies and Japanese people as Japs, long considered an ethnic slur. Corazon, who is a homosexual, even invoked classic and anti-Semitic tropes when describing his Jewish boyfriend's political convictions, writing that his boyfriend was considered as a result of possessing several bags of Jewish code. Typically, these statements would have leftists worked up into a lather, working overtime to get the individual fired. Mainstream media would have reported heavily on the politically correct verbiage, interviewing top officials, and the SPLC and other organizations would have condemned the speaker into certain terms. A look at the media reveals that only Fox News picked up story, and Corazon remains president of Media Matters. Countless conservatives and principal supporters of Carlson have rallied to his defense, expressing outrage at increasingly tyrannical and dishonest tactics used by the radical left to silence and shut down their political rivals. The anti-Tucker outrage mob is so clearly acting hypocritically or in bad faith for purely partisan political decisions. Donald Trump Jr. recently stated Ned Young, the CEO of American Majority, correctly noted that Media Matters exists solely to take out conservatives in the media and media and politics. Interesting, because they had Washington Free Beacon did a story about that, and I printed. You could print that up about Media Matters attack, and it happened at Aventura Mall, Tanberry Resort to be exact. Talk about how to fight these people. So, ship of fools indeed. They're a partisan hit squad trying to delegitimize and deplatform conservatives. Seriously minded people should understand that this political warfare until Media Matter go pound sand, Rion stated. Christopher Cantwell, libertarian-leaning podcaster, commented in a recent podcast, praised Carlson's resolve and refusal to bow down to Media Matters and the radical left. What makes Carlson more dangerous to the left than any other single is that he understands the long game. Cantwell stated, those who apologize today will be paralyzed tomorrow because the goal of the mob is not redemption but submission. One who can be made to bow to their whims and invariably be conscripted into their service, and Tucker simply will not permit this to happen to him under any circumstances. For now, Carlson and Fox News are not only holding out and refusing to bend to the pressure of being brought by these dishonest outfits, they are actively fighting back against the left-wing outrage mob. And I gotta say one thing, I give Mr. Carlson credit for this. And yes, I'm not a Fox News lover or anything like that, but the man has the right to be heard. If you don't like it, don't listen. Why get offended? See, remember, all these little cockroaches, the tyrants in these groups, are nothing more than hypocrites. Southern Poverty Law Center, Media Matters, Antifa, etc. They are hypocrites. Adolf Hitler will be proud of these sleazebags. That's right. I'm calling all you pretentious individuals out. You tyrants. Spoiled little brats think the world should revolve around you. You know what? Like I said, I don't watch Tucker Carlson. Give me a break. But they're ticked off at him. He's doing something right. Hey, that's what we call freedom of choice is what we got. If you don't like it, leave. Get out of my country. If you're coming to Florida, leave. There's Cuba right down the road. And don't worry, a big awakening is happening in Cuba as well, so it'll be a little bit too late for you guys. There's plenty of places to go if you want government dependency suppression and be an Uncle Tom and Angel Mama to them. I'm not. And many of the listeners out there around the world agree with me. Some of them may not all the time, but the main objective, free speech, is more important than your feelings. And that is it. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us through social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something that's interesting you may want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to Decorum. Plus, I'll be leaving all my information, social media sites, email contacts on my Spreaker page. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.